Hello, everybody. I have fallen ill, and so I thought I'd just relax, play some solitaire, and let you know how my week has been going. And to be honest, it's gone pretty well. I was babysitting at my parents' house. I've got a little brother, and um, and my dad's got this PlayStation 5, and I spent basically a lot of time. Jesus Christ. Spent a lot of time playing on this PlayStation. And, by the end of it, I was like, okay, I want a PlayStation 5. And the reason for this is double. People always say, oh, PlayStation 5 has no games. And that's partially true. PlayStation 5 is maybe lacking on the front of exclusives and stuff like that. I don't much mind that though because my PlayStation 4 broke and I have a lot of games digitally on PlayStation 4 that I've yet to play. I had like all of Kingdom Hearts. Never played Kingdom Hearts, but it was discounted one day, so I bought it. Never got around to playing it. I think I started the first one, but just never finished. Anyway, so that's one of the main reasons is my PlayStation 4 broke. The hard drive failed, and I can no longer play it. So I was like, okay, I mean, let's get a PlayStation 5. I really want to play the new Ratchet and Clank game, the Rift Apart. I've never played it, and I'm a big fan of Ratchet and Clank. Um, One of my favorite games as a kid was Ratchet and Clank 3. I loved the first two, but Ratchet and Clank 3 absolutely blew me away. I thought it was such a fun game. It had so much like post game content. It was really impressive to me at that age. I don't think I had played many games that had just the sheer amount of replayability that that game did. And still to this day, one of my favorite games of all time. I'm a huge Ratchet and Clank fan. Um, and so it's like, okay, I want to get a PlayStation 5. I'm going to get the digital edition because I don't have any physical PS4 games. So as long as I don't buy any physical PS5 games, it kind of works out. And it ends up being like £100 cheaper as well. So it's definitely like a good decision in my mind. Some people will criticize me for that and be like, "No, you're scamming yourself. You're never going to be able to get cheap physical games." And to that I say, maybe let's just see what happens in the future because right now I'm not seeing any cheap physical games. Right? I'm not seeing huge discounts and technically if I bought physical games that were cheaper than the digital ones enough to get £100, then it will have paid for itself. But digital games go on sale too, so really you're looking quite far out into the future where the PS5 is no longer recent and those games start to be cheaper. And I don't play that many games. And so I think I made the right call on this one. You can criticize me in the comments about whether I should have got the digital edition or the disc drive edition, but the decision has been made. I have my PS5 now. I've been enjoying the new Fortnite season. I've been playing Pirate Warriors 4, which is a favorite game of mine. I think I need to play more Warriors games because I have enjoyed Hyrule Warriors so much ever since I was a kid, I guess, because it's an old game at this point. I had it on Wii U, then it came out on 3DS. I used to play it in between classes obsessively because it's such a good game, and it really is such a good game. Um, I was such a big fan of Hyrule Warriors that I bought it on Switch, 3DS, and and on Wii U, and then when Calamity came out, the new Hyrule Warriors, I didn't pick that one up, so I haven't played that one. But then I played Pirate Warriors 4, which is the One Piece Warriors game, Musou game, and I'm enjoying it so much. People are saying, "Oh, it's not as good as some other Warriors games," but you know, I agree. Honestly, like gameplay wise, it's not as refined and necessarily as good as as Hyrule Warriors. I think Hyrule Warriors has more in the kind of like tactical aspect. In Pirate Warriors, a lot of the time, like your territory doesn't actually matter that much. You just need to beat up a bunch of guys. But from a fan perspective, as a fan of One Piece, it's really fun because it's got all the characters and it's very like, fan service. There's you can play as like, various versions of the characters. I found it really fun, but I do agree, Hyrule Warriors has more going for it. And so I've been thinking, yeah, let's play more Warriors games because I've never played Dynasty Warriors. I've never played a lot of I've never played a non-licensed game. So I want to kind of go in that direction. I don't know when I'm going to pick them up because I've just made the purchase of a PS5, so I'm not sure I want to buy any more games. Because right now I'm comfy with the games I've got to play. Like I've still got a lot lined up in terms of PS4 games that I haven't played, in terms of just free to play. I'm a big Fortnite fan. I haven't been for ages, but I recently got back into it. But so I've got stuff to do. I'm not thinking about buying these games right now, but hopefully at some point on the channel you'll get to see some Warriors content because I think they're really fun games, and I'll definitely play Pirate Warriors whenever I'm looking for an excuse to talk about One Piece. But yeah, it's been a pretty fun week. It's been a pretty relaxed week. I tried to in a couple days get to tier 100 on the battle pass for last season. Didn't really work out. I got to tier 74 and then I was like, fuck this, I'm going to sleep. Because it was getting quite late, and I thought maybe I could get to tier 100 if I stayed up, but it would not have been worth it for my sanity's sake. And also I didn't think the tier 100 reward was that good, so I decided to forgo that. But I still had fun playing Fortnite. I used to play it all the time in high school with one of my friends, and when he stopped playing the game, I stopped playing. But now that I've gotten back into it, I'm having a lot of fun. At the moment, it's the cars season. There's lots of cars that are very, very overpowered. But I'm having fun with it still. It's not necessarily classic OG Fortnite, but it is still fun. I do hope that they get nerfed, but it is what it is. So yeah, let me know how your week's been going. Let me know if you've made any big purchases. Let me know if you've been enjoying any games. Yeah, it's good. Today we're playing Minesweeper. No, we're not. Wow. Got Minesweeper on the brain. We're playing the other Windows game that's on every computer. We're playing Solitaire. This game I used to play a lot in my high school computing class because I used to finish pretty early compared to most people, which was just because I was pretty into computing, not because I was especially good at it, just because I was very eager to do it, and so whenever I was done it, I played Minesweeper. Nope, I played Solitaire. Just got Minesweeper on the brain, I guess. And can you blame me? What a fantastic game it is. But it's kind of interesting because at high schools and stuff you always have websites that are blocked, so you're not able to access like Kongregate or Armor Games, stuff like that, Miniclip. All of these things are banned. I used to play JStress, which is like a web implementation of Tetris. It's a JavaScript. I think I restarted instead of dealing in a. There we go. It's JavaScript and it runs in browser, and I used to play it during my computing class. But interestingly enough, it was banned on the library computers. It only worked in the computing labs and the business classrooms, which were adjacent to the computing labs. And so I have a theory, which is not really backed up by anything other than that strange coincidence that it was banned everywhere except those rooms. I have a theory that one of the teachers of business or computing was a Tetris fan. It could be true. Tetris friends the old like online Tetris that was actually official by the Tetris company. That game was also not blocked on those computers. I don't remember if it was blocked on the library ones, but that game was also not blocked. So it is possible. You know, it's not unfounded to think that maybe somebody in that department was a Tetris fan, but I think it's interesting to think that perhaps it was unblocked because a particular staff member wanted to play Tetris. But this is what teachers do, you know. As soon you know, if they've got time free, my computing teacher used to always watch football during class because once you've given the kids an assignment to do, you only really need to intervene once they're struggling with something, right? So as long as people are getting on with it, which very often was the case in my computing class, it was sort of a small class, so there were less people asking for help, fewer people asking for help, than in a lot of classes. As soon as we were given something to do, it kind of went smoothly. Which is a blessing for a teacher because you can kick up your feet and watch football, and I think that's fantastic. I think more power to him, right? Because who wants to be doing a lot of work, first thing in the morning teaching a computing class? Just give them some tasks to do, like Among Us, and. I saw this Twitter thread that was like, "Oh, teachers today have it so easy. Like, you just tell the kids to lock in, and and then they'll pay attention to you." And I thought that's kind of interesting, you know, because that could happen. They could listen to you, or they could laugh you out of the classroom. Look at this old guy, trying to use like modern slang. But I do think it's interesting because, you know, if you have a group of kids that are like doing a task, doing like an assignment or something, well, if they don't do it, they're sus, right? Because in Among Us, you have to do tasks. So you could make the argument, okay, class, if you don't do this assignment, then you're sus, and then we're gonna vote you out. And that's like, that kind of speaks to them, that kind of resonates with them. I don't know if it works anymore, granted, because Among Us is no longer modern. Hate to break it to all of us oldies here. I'm 21. Among Us is not the rage anymore. People are talking about skibidi toilets and stuff like that. You know, that era of gaming, of content, has kind of passed us over. And if you're still stuck in the past, talking about Among Us and you know, stuff like that, you might be getting left in the dirt. To be frank, you might be getting left in the dirt. I do wonder where the term like "to be frank" comes from, because like, who is Frank? Who is Frank? Obviously it doesn't come from. Well, I mean, maybe it does. I was about to say obviously it doesn't come from a guy named Frank, but maybe it literally does. There are some definitions of words that can surprise you and they can sneak up on you. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I can't honestly say that I'm a big like literacy or like etymology buff. But very often you'll see people break down the etymology of words, and it's very surprising where they come from. Oftentimes it can be a lot more straightforward than you would predict. You know, it seems obvious to us that "to be frank" probably doesn't come from a guy named Frank. But there's a chance that it does, you know. Until I look up where it comes from, how am I supposed to know? But most likely it doesn't come from that. Solitaire, you know, it is a game of chance unless you're playing one that's like guaranteed solvable. And if you are playing one that's guaranteed solvable, then there's some strategy involved. I do not play with any strategy. I play with the strategy of put down the card that is most immediately obvious to me and then deal with the consequences when I have nothing left to play, and so I think that's actually game over. I don't think there's anything I can do here. So yeah, see you later.